in the story of Moses, together with his brother Aaron, goes to the holy mountain. And the Lord gives him precise measurements for the arch. He says, you must construct this object so long, so large, so high, etc. You must use this sort of metal. And then he even says to Moses, and make it exactly like the original you see here. So there was an original, and Moses made the first copy. Later, Moses came back from the holy mountain to his people, and the people were hungry, and they could find nothing to eat. Now in the Bible it says that the Ark of the Covenant was connected together with this strange being, maybe a machinery, which is called the oldest of the day. This you do not find in the Bible, you find it in the Kabbalah. And then this oldest of the day produced manna. That means the manna machine, it was a machine who produced manna. Manna was just a ground nutrition. With manna you mixed all kinds of things. That needed energy. The energy comes from the Ark of the Covenant. You see, the Ark of the Covenant was an absolute dangerous object. And the Ark of the Covenant definitely had radioactivity. In the second book of the Kings, the Ark of the Covenant is transported. And one of the priests, his name is Uzzah, he simply, because there was a moment where the Ark looked as if she would fall from the wagon. One of the priests, his name was Uzzah, he touched the Ark. And at the same second he died, like from an electricity power. And in the book of Samuel it says, everyone who came too close to the Ark of the Covenant died. And they describe how they died. That their skin became pale, their nails on fingers and feet fell out, they were blind, etc. So they were afraid of the Ark of the Covenant, and freely, by free will, they brought it back to Israel. The Israelites the next morning saw that the Ark of the Covenant were here again, with 4 horses. The horses were already near dead. The children of Israel were dancing around the Ark of the Covenant, praying to the Lord that the Ark of the Covenant is back finally from the land of the enemy. And at that morning, so says the Bible, 72 of the Israelites died, including children. What have these children done wrong? The only thing, they were too close to the Ark of the Covenant, because the Ark of the Covenant was absolutely dangerous. You know, Aaron was the priest, the brother of Moses, and Aaron was the one who created a new priesthood. Only those ones are allowed to go close to the Ark of the Covenant. They had to wear separate suits, 7 times woven, separate clothes. The Ark of the Covenant was dangerous because it was in reality a plutonium reactor. Plutonium reactors are used today in our satellites. If you need a satellite who needs power for 20 or 40 years, you need a miniature plutonium reactor. Plutonium reactors are never used on Earth because they are incredibly dangerous. Plutonium is really dangerous. Just a little piece, a powder of plutonium can kill thousands of people. It's a very, very high radioactivity. That's why we use it only in satellites, and they never tell it to the humans. That in these satellites, the energy came from plutonium reactors. So, finally, the Ark of the Covenant was back with the Israelites. 72 of them died. They continued their trip, and Solomon created the first temple. Solomon put the Ark of the Covenant in a temple, in a holy place. Then Solomon, by the way, he had some flying machines. Solomon could fly all the time. This flying machines of Solomon is not part of the Bible, it's part of the so-called Kebra Negest. The Kebra Negest is the book of the kings of Ethiopia. There you read about the flying machines of King Solomon. They even say how fast it was. So in one day, he made the distance of 30 days if you would go on the ground. Anyhow, Solomon created a temple and had a separate room for the Ark of the Covenant. Now Solomon, because he can fly, he had a girlfriend, the Queen of Sheba, in today's Ethiopia. He visited her different times, and they had a boy together. He went to visit his father Solomon. So he comes from today's Ethiopia with the caravan, with many camels, and came to Jerusalem. And in Jerusalem, Beinallechem said to his father Solomon, my mother, the queen of Sheba, which you love so sehr, has some problems for enemy. And she asked me to come to Jerusalem, that I should bring the Ark of the Covenant to Ethiopia, to the queen of Sheba. Because the people who have the Ark of the Covenant, they always have power, she said. Now Solomon said to his son, this is impossible. My own people, my priest, would kill me if I would allow you to take the Ark of the Covenant out of the temple of Jerusalem. But the boy was finally the son of Solomon. He was a priest himself. So at night, he went with the few followers into the temple, into the room where the Ark of the Covenant was standing. He made an exact copy of it. They went out again. And outside the walls of Jerusalem, his artists created a copy of the Ark of the Covenant. At night, they made the priest of Solomon drunken. They went into the temple. They stole the original Ark of the Covenant, and they put the copy there. The next morning, the priest didn't even realize it. It took 2 or 3 days before they realized that not the original is anymore in the temple of Jerusalem, it is a copy. Now Solomon, he knew exactly it was my son. And he went with his horses to follow, but he could never reach him because Beinallechem, with the Ark of the Covenant, again was flying in one of these flying machines to today's Ethiopia. So the original of the Ark of the Covenant arrived, in fact, at today's Ethiopia. The queen of Sheba, she was very, very happy. Thousands of people surrounded the Ark of the Covenant, and thousands of people died. Again with the same sickness as we had before in the second book of the Kings. Now the queen of Sheba was afraid of the Ark of the Covenant. She realized that this object is dangerous. She put it down in a hole in the ground. And exactly there, today, in the Ethiopian city of Aksum, the cathedral of the Holy Virgin Mary is standing. Now this is Coptical Christianity in Ethiopia. And a few years ago, the head of the Coptical church was in Switzerland shortly and in Germany. And one journalist asked him, do you know about the Ark of the Covenant? Is it true that this is in Ethiopia under the church of the Holy Virgin Mary? And the chief said, yes, I was one of them who saw the Ark of the Covenant. This object is not from this planet. This object is from another planet. So sometimes I'm asked by the critics, where are the proofs for extraterrestrials? The Ark of the Covenant, even if only a piece of it has survived, would be a final proof. But that's a question of religion. The religions would never allow us to go down there and to make scientific researches on this object. So the time is not ripe for it. We have to change again the spirit of time.